So starting in October '68, we were really working this area, which was all, it was hardcore VC at that point in time. The Bodé River was a really memorable place, and also the San Baja, which is all what we used to call Square Bay right here. So I think you guys give your memories of like November 13th, 1968, when we went up to Bodé and we actually captured a VC flag, which is kind of a memorable event. So I think we'd start with the run up the Bodé, where we got this flag, and the next day where we would delivering Jim and his ops team to Cairo. So that day, and it really was November of 13, 1968, because it's embellished into our memory. And oh, by the way, here's the logbook of PCF 94. So date-wise and stuff, we've got this down. So this was an operation up the Bodé, which frequently was interdiction to deny the use of the river to the VC. And what was notable is we went in that day off Square Bay. So we went in that day, and literally, because we've been in a couple of days before, literally overnight the VC had constructed a barrier, forget the exact name in Vietnamese, but they used them for fish nets, but this was a barrier of fairly significantly sized trees across the river that they had built overnight. So that gives you some idea of the manpower they had to pay. So the three boat under an infamous swift boat sailor by the name of Mike Bernique went to the left, we went to the right. So we went up the river, and these guys had been pressing for some time, we need a VC flag, we need a VC flag. Well, at that time there were lots of VC flags on the banks, and they were there for a reason, because they had command detonated mines attached to them. You could literally see the wires on the flag. So we're not dumb enough to try to take a flag off the bank with a wire attached to it. So I said, okay, if you guys can shoot the flag off the bank, we'll take it.
I was using an M79 trying to
get
it off, and I put a lot of shrapnel mortar.
Just to preface this, it wasn't just shooting at the flag posts, because there was bunkers there.
Yeah.
And each flag were on the bunkers. So
yeah,
we wasn't sure if anybody was in the bunkers. Sometimes they were, sometimes they weren't. So we decided to kill two birds with one stone, literally. And both the 50s opened up, and then we opened up with everything we had, and all of a sudden one of them, I swear, you could see it, just snapped off. Went in the river. We were afraid at first it was going to be on the bank, we wasn't going to go get it. But it did, it floated right out in midstream. Yeah. Am I correct?
Yeah, I think Kenny was the one who retrieved it, right?
Yeah, Ken got it with a boat hook.
Yeah.
And so,
and we figured it would be a real nice
You did.
boat deal to really piss them off. So we hung it on our radio antenna.
now this is unbeknownst to me. I'm the ONC. Jim and I are sitting up in the pilot house, so we don't see what's going on in the fantail.
Do you know?
But I had no idea that we were flying a VC flag. Right, and so we're up, about midway up the Bodé, and now we're turning. All this takes place in about an hour, from entrance to on our way out. And so, turn around, we're heading out. Did the same thing that we went on the way in. Bernique went right, we went left, and literally at that log barrier, as we zipping by, I'm standing in the pilot house. I just remember a huge bang, everything kind of goes poof. And what that was a B-40 rocket. Now these boats have got stanchions every 18 inches. So, and I actually saw out of the corner of my eye, I saw the guy pop up out of the foxhole, with a B-40. And clean goes through the boat. Now, it's got to miss both stanchions on both sides, and it goes over 100 rounds of 81 millimeter mortar and blows up about 40 feet the other side of the boat. And of course, there's a lot of smoke. And I look down, this guy's been blown into the boat. He was sitting on the fantail, and the cabin's full of smoke, and so I jumped down there, rolled Salter over to make sure he's alive. And after that, I got on the radio and said, this is Avenue number 94, we're hit, and we're coming out. It hit just about 3 feet behind us, maybe 4 feet, yeah.
I was aft. As you go down into the main cabin, I had an M60 and I was shooting either side, and after I thought before we got out, I thought we were clear, so I sat down in the entryway to the hatch.
Right.
Next thing I know, he's turning me over and I'm in the cabin. Because all I know is it was
The concussion sucked him in, yeah.
I remember the bang and that's it. And he's turning
Yeah.
me over and Mike is sitting there and he's kind of saying, because they had told him on the radio to keep me awake.
Well, actually, that was me, but he was standing right there. Because I'm on the URC at this point, saying this is Avenue 94, we got a man wounded. The team on the Wachusett's came up, said, whatever you do, don't let him go to sleep, because of concussion, brain injury, so.
Was down there and told, don't let him lose consciousness, so I'm doing everything I can to keep him awake. And his eyes kept fluttering, and I was slapping him and shaking him. But I think that's the only time in all my time in Vietnam and all the rivers we went up that I was really scared because my friend was hurt.
Yeah.
And we didn't know how bad he was hurt.
Wasn't
And
bad.
that was terrible. That
That
was,
wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't know that at the time.
Remember, I'm up in the pilot house, and at this point, I did not know the VC flag is there, okay? And so we're coming alongside the Wachusett.
Yeah, we had this hole in the boat, and I was worried about sinking, and we had him being injured, and the guy in the Wachusett, the skipper, was yelling down, "You're not coming alongside until you got that flag down." And I said, "Well, we got somebody injured." And there was a bunch of people up there trying to take pictures, and we were yelling back and forth and all that sort of stuff. But the skipper of the ship there was giving us so much static, so I don't know who pulled it down or if it ever did.
No, we didn't take it until we came alongside. We didn't take it down until we came alongside, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a sequel to that to show you, this was a serious war effort going on at this time. So the Coast Guard skipper put us on report with our commanding officer, George Elliott. And I honestly didn't know about that report until 40 years later, because he didn't do anything with it, because he knew this was a serious crew, and so he just squelched that. There was a little bit of antipathy between the Navy and the Coast Guard, because we were in the rivers, they were offshore, and so it was a little bit of that going on.